The all top case studies, so as to be make it a very thought-provoking sort of a seminar or a workshop or a program which is hosting on the 11th of February. So we will get into this whole gamut of ransomware as we move further. Suffice to say that the best adopters of technology are the criminals. If you go into the whole history of technology, you will realize that the first to adopt were the criminals, the best to adopt were the criminals, and the maximum to adopt were the criminals, as you see in the case of cryptocurrency today. Bitcoin gained prominence, notoriety, whatever you call it, is only through its usage in the underworld, in the digital underworld, and all transactions primarily concerned to payments in the dark web, dark net, and also related to currently ransomware. I think nearly 92 or 98% of all these transactions which happen where big ransom or big payment is to be made, I think it goes through Bitcoin. So getting hacked has become the new norm. So if somebody feels that he will never get hacked, if feels this company will never get hacked, so that is not a truism. The reality is that we should be ready with a plan which is resilient, that we can bounce back and we can put our system back in place at the earliest possible time and make it running. So out of the Fortune 500 companies, 97% has been hacked and the other 3% are not aware of the fact that they have been hacked. So this gives you a kaleidoscope of whatever is happening in the cyber security and cyber crime arena. And Lazarus is a group which I call as the ISIS of the cyber world, as has been responsible for biggest of the cyber crimes, inclusive of the Bangladesh bank heist in 2016, where Bangladesh Bank, which is the central bank of Bangladesh, so they lost around 81 or 91 million dollars. So, and they were able to compromise the Swift code, the security of the Swift code, they were able to compromise. From there, if you go into earlier cases of Sony Pictures was a place where 63 passwords were available in plain text. So basically, the cyber crime or the hackers come inside, they find the passwords and they are able to get into large number of systems because their passwords were not hidden, or it was put in basically servers, which was in public view once the hacker was able to get inside. So this whole global cyber crime is worth $1.5 trillion as it has been accounted or calculated in an approximate manner, I think for last 2-3 years. And it has a variety of features. We will not get into the numbers of it, but it has variety of features where data trading is also one of the components, and crimeware as a service. So crime as a service or tools by which you can commit crime. So that as a service available, and 1 billion from ransomware. So this has been ransomware, I think 2-3 years back, this is being talked about. And today when we come to organizations, criminal organizations like Revil, they have brought ransomware as a service. So the crime has primarily reached from a single person's crime to an organized crime to a business to an economy. So today it has reached a level of economy where legitimate and illegitimate, where the state actors and non-state actors cannot be differentiated, and they're literally in every area. From money laundering, drugs, trafficking, and terrorism, there's absolutely no area which is not impacted by cyber crimes. Platform criminality, which means it is running like a platform, like an aggregator, the aggregator I'm talking about. So it is that method that this whole crime is being organized. Unfortunate part is that we are disorganized. We don't collaborate. We don't come together for investigation, for awareness purposes, to understand the tools. Only yesterday I wrote about ransomware case studies. If 20-30 of the top ransomware attacks, there is a case study which is done in a purely technical, managerial, and a professional manner. It will throw up so much of data and insights that it will help as a preventive tool for all of us in whichever area we are working. There has been a 500% spike in cyber crimes as per NSA Ajit Dole 2 years back, 2 years or 1.5 years back. And as we move further, I think it is exploding. So there has been a sharp rise in cyber crime. If you see from the year 2010 to 2018, so from 966, it has reached 27,248. If I remember correctly, in my last days in the police, we have a police station here, cybercrime police station in Bangalore City Police, and that particular police station reached 10,000 crimes. Why I remember so vividly? Because the software which we had created, it was to take crime numbers only till 10,000. Then we had to tweak it because that police station was to cross the 10,000 numbers of cyber crimes in that particular year. We have been talking about banking, we have been talking about financial services, we have been talking about insurance. So BFSI is the area which is generally the most targeted because the money it's there. And if you are able to access the accounts, you can do variety of things out of it. And there is no clear-cut correlation that if you are able to access and if you are not able to transfer money, it is going to impact you. The variety of ways which these hackers, they have learned for themselves to extract money out of the victims. So one of the largest banks in the US, Capital One. So 2019 it was hacked and the hacker was able to gain 100 million Capital One credit card applications and accounts. The Massachusetts Institute of Technology, the Sloan School of Management, they have done a case study on this, and they have tried to find out as to how a big organization of this nature, which has invested hugely in cyber security and also got into all the protocols and all the requirements of cyber security, how a organization of this nature could be attacked. What the attack created, it is out there with your 140,000 social security numbers, 1 million Canadian social insurance number, 80,000 account numbers, and variety of other things. We are not getting into details of it. How it happens, that is the most crazy of the things. That a 30-year-old lady who's in Seattle, she was working for Amazon Web Services, where Capital One had an account, and she had the whole idea of operating, how these cloud services are configured or misconfigured, and she was able to gain access by exploiting a misconfigured web application firewall, what they call as the WAF, web application firewall. And this was disclosed by the company itself, and they agreed that they lacked proper security protocols. I'm talking about only one of these things. As we move further, there are variety of ways where the passwords are as simple as, say, SolarWinds 123. So is the name of the company, and that is the name, nearly that name of the password. I think through any cracker, password cracker, that can be done in no time, and even without a password cracker. I think if any of us try and logically try to fathom out as to what will be the password, I think that can be cracked. Unfortunately, today also I have been in the cyber security field for quite a long time. Password happens to be the most popular password even today, followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They failed to establish proper risk assessment procedures. If the risk assessment procedures are not in place, the company is at a huge risk. Suffice to say, there are users, there is the IT department of the company, there are stakeholders who are outside. It might be the cloud services, it might be other associates. We interact with the company through APIs, from SDK, APIs through SDK. So that is the integrated apparatus which has been created. If the whole integrated apparatus is not maintained at the level of cyber security hygiene, competence, and proper audit and proper improvement as it warrants, there is a likelihood that these situations arise, and we are seeing n number of them in best of the companies. SolarWinds, it transpired, I think, towards the end of 2019, 2020, it transpired. So this is a software company which manages network systems, information technology, infrastructure for large number of clients across the face of this earth. So this was hacked. So this is December 2020, when multiple government agencies were breached through SolarWinds, Orion Software. So Orion Software, they have 33,000 customers, and the company itself, in its official filing, says fewer than 18,000. What does fewer than 18,000 mean? Fewer than 18,000 means that 18,000 of the 33,000 Orion customers have been impacted by this hack, and there are large number of government agencies, department, inclusive of one of the biggest cyber security companies in the world. FireEye was also impacted by that, and Microsoft and large number of other organizations. Hackers acquired super user access to SAML token signing certificates. So this is most critical by which they gained access and they were able to do whatever they did. So they were able to forge new tokens through this SAML certificate and allow hackers trusted and highly secured access to the network. The tragedy of the situation is that wherever they send their code, which is primarily software update, or it is a version upgrade, whatever it might be. So it is coming through the legal process. It is coming through SolarWinds. And the update sent by SolarWinds, which is the company which is providing that software, now that has vulnerability, that has bugs, that is a malicious code. And that is how they were able to gain access into this whole network of 18,000 or 10,000 companies, government departments, enterprises, which is just unimaginable. And Brad Smith, president of Microsoft, says this is the largest and the most sophisticated attack the world has ever seen. So this is the nature of the attack. This gives you the timelines of this particular attack. From the beginning till then, we'll not get into the timelines, and that is not meant for this particular gathering. But suffice to say that over a short period of time, the impact has been felt across board, and how this access has impacted other agencies and this whole ecosystem, we still don't know. So the supply chain was compromised, initial access and command of control gain, and hands-on keyboard attack on premises. So basically, you are literally able to do anything which that particular company is able to do through this particular tool, having gained access, and hands-on keyboard attack in the cloud. So attackers use stolen signing key or admin privileges to create SAML tokens to access cloud resources, search for accounts of interest, and exfiltrate mails. So literally they are through all around the place, across these companies, through the legitimate mailing system, through the legitimate software upgrades, which they had infiltrated in the manner which I've described and made this sort of a huge impact, which the Microsoft president says is the most serious and the most impact-making hack in recent times or ever. The second you come to, second or the third of these case studies, is the Colonial Pipeline, which is 5,500 miles of network, and this is supposed to be the largest cyber attack on oil infrastructure. You see the nature of the attacks now. The primary target is the billing infrastructure. Is not the pipeline, is not the fuel which goes through the pipeline. And this pipeline literally controls, I think, around 45% of these things on this particular coast. Ransomware attack, operations were stalled. I think for 5-6 days, the operations were stalled, and this was conducted by a organization called Darkside. Now, Darkside is a similar organization, might be an associate, or might be it's a different name of an organization called Revel, which is certainly the most dangerous of the ransomware attackers today in this world. The ransomware paid was 75 Bitcoin, which is $4.5 million. The saving grace was that this whole process happened or was basically supervised or overseen by the FBI, and nearly 63.7 Bitcoins out of the 75 Bitcoins were recovered, which comes to $2.3 million. So out of 4.4, $2.3 million were recovered. So that is a great thing. And the situation became such that President Biden was forced to declare an emergency. So now it is not a cyber crime. It has moved to critical infrastructure. It has moved to governance. It has moved to economy. It has moved to social existence. It can force presidents, and that also President of the USA, to declare a state of emergency because things become unmanageable. So cyber physical, it has become one single continuum, one single world. And if ransomware, the way it's going, they have the capability to bring any country to its knees if they go for a massive, all-out, multifarious attack.